The Similarity Isn't Sameness Paradox, the New Science. Introduction. Modern science often prides itself on its ability to dissect reality into ever smaller components, to explain every nuance of existence through rigorous analytic frameworks. Yet an emerging trend, embodied by theories such as the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, seems to stretch this quest beyond its reasonable limits. These models propose that every conceivable outcome occurs in some branch of an infinite multiverse, suggesting that a multiplicity of realities can account for every phenomenon without having to acknowledge a singular, grounded truth. What I call the Similarity Isn't Sameness Paradox underscores a fundamental error in this approach. Substituting the mere replication or resemblance of phenomena for their underlying uniqueness, meaning, and purpose. 1. The overreach of science. Multiplying possibilities without understanding. One we are in. At the heart of modern theoretical physics lies a bold ambition: to account for every mystery by generating a framework where every possibility is realized. The many worlds interpretation, for example, contends that at every quantum decision, there is a universe where another outcome prevails. While mathematically intriguing, this perspective risks an intellectual overreach, a belief that if one cannot fully understand the nature of our own reality, then multiplying realities ad infinitum will somehow bridge that gap. Instead of attaining deeper insight into the laws that govern our world, such approaches multiply possibilities in a bid to mask human limitations. When the fundamentals remain elusive, creating an array of parallel universes can feel like a rash attempt to resolve what is essentially a gap in our comprehension rather than a genuine discovery. Second, paradoxes that expose the fragility of alternate reality theories. The very idea that every alternative possibility exists invites a host of inherent paradoxes. Consider the identity paradox. If infinite variations of a person exist, each with slightly different choices, what becomes of individuality? Where does uniqueness reside when every version resembles the others in some crucial measure? Similarly, the causality paradox comes into play. If every single event bifurcates into limitless branches, the linear chain of cause and effect essential to making sense of our actions and their consequences starts to crumble. And there's a deeper truth paradox. If every possible reality is realized, then the notion of an objective, absolute truth seems to dissolve into a labyrinth of contradictory outcomes. These paradoxes reveal a critical flaw. While alternate reality theories suggest that an infinite number of outcomes explains complexity, they simultaneously erode the very foundation of meaning that a unified, singular truth provides. The pyramid's fallacy: how science invents explanations instead of confronting mystery. A similar pattern of reasoning can be observed in the way some explanations are proffered for the enigmas of human history. When ancient architectural feats like the pyramids defy our current understanding of technology and labor, we sometimes hear the claim that extraterrestrial beings must have intervened. This is the classic pyramids fallacy, an extravagant explanation built on the premise that if something can't be explained by our current models, then a mysterious, otherworldly agent must be responsible. In both cases, whether we're discussing the origin of ancient monuments or the proliferation of infinite realities, the tendency is to fill gaps in our understanding with assumptions that bypass the hard work of deep inquiry. Instead of grappling with the complexities of a singular, coherent reality, we resort to explanations that diminish human ingenuity and the possibility of discovering a higher or divine order. The necessity of a grounded reality, theology, and truth. The struggle with these scientific overextensions invites us to ask, what is reality truly grounded in? If the quest for truth leads us down a path that fractures meaning into a million indistinguishable parts, then perhaps we are missing something essential, a unifying principle that transcends our limited human models. Here, theology can play a vital role. A belief in divine order or an underlying metaphysical truth provides a framework within which differences are celebrated rather than exploded into infinite possibilities. In this view, the uniqueness of each human experience, and even of each moment in time, is not lost in a sea of alternatives. Rather, it is enfolded within a purposeful, coherent narrative. Recognizing that similarity does not equate to sameness compels us to acknowledge that human existence and divine truth cannot be reduced to mere probability graphs or quantum splits. They demand an answer that respects both mystery and the search for meaning. Conclusion. Rediscovering truth through intellectual humility. In our modern scientific era, there is a danger in allowing intellectual ambition to outpace our grasp of the profound. The Similarity Isn't Sameness Paradox challenges us to reconsider how we interpret complexity. Rather than multiplying realities to cover the gaps in our understanding, it urges us to dig deeper into the singular truth that binds our experience to a larger, purposeful narrative, one that honors human ingenuity while acknowledging the divine. Only by embracing intellectual humility can science transform from a tool that disguises its own limitations into one that genuinely seeks to uncover the fabric of reality. It is not an endless multiplication of possibilities that leads to understanding, but a deep, inquisitive exploration of what it means for something to be truly unique and real.